How's it going, friends and family of the internet? Welcome to the Real AF TV podcast show about fishing random takes from the land of 10,000 lakes. I'm one of your hosts, Josh LaBaw.
But I am the other host, Tim Wagner.
Bam. Right on
Boom.
top of it. You got that
Got
surprise
it.
face, but you were right on top of it, Tim.
Got
Nice work.
it. The surprise face is sometimes for fun. A lot of times it legitimately happens, but I don't know. I think it's like a dad thing. Whoop, whoop.
Right,
Hey,
right.
oh.
Which we are going to talk dad stuff in this random take. And in the front half, in the fishing, we're going to talk about, well, we'll get into that in just a second because we're just going to get right into the fishing news like we do. This one is, hey, check out my golden bass.
Ooh, golden.
Dude, you remember when we did that golden crappie one? You remember when we had that? You remember when that was a big thing around Minnesota? Because it came from Minnesota, right?
Yep, I do.
So I found on coastalanglermag.com. So it came from Coastal Angler Magazine. Molly Kirk wrote this one. It's just a nice, perfectly short little article about this golden bass. A golden largemouth bass from Virginia. Got caught on the just on the James River. St. James, that's a different thing. About. Oh, and by the way, yes, Bassmaster Elite Series, Bassmaster Classic. What am I going to say? This sponsor in there too? Jesus. It's going on this weekend. I know.
Yeah.
We're not going to cover it because we record this on the weekend. So, sorry, guys. I know it's Monday and I know you're listening, or the week after. We're not going to have anything here. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, back to this golden bass. Nice, short little article. Came from Virginia in the James River. It was caught by Jacob Moore, who was out bass fishing, and then was bringing this up to the boat. He thought it was an ocean fish. Thought it was saltwater.
Oh, because of the color?
Up. Yeah.
Nice.
And then he gets it in his boat and he goes,
"What's this?
That's a largemouth."
Right. That's cool. Not knowing what it is. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And this was another recent one?
Yeah. So this happened. Again, I'll have the link in the YouTube, or I shouldn't say again, but like if you're following the podcast usual, I have the link in the YouTube description. So if you go over to YouTube, you can see the description. But yeah, this was fairly recent. Yep.
Very cool. That I've seen pictures of them in the past. Only a couple, but like they are crazy rare. Yeah. But I knew that was a thing. That like it's not an impossible deal. I don't know how it happens, but I knew that I've seen it before. Because there's some like the first couple of times that I saw the same picture, I was like, whatever, Photoshop, like. But then you see it, and you're just like, no, okay, that makes sense. Like somebody, because there are some Photoshop ones out there.
Of course, there has to be.
Like not necessarily like the largemouth bass, but I've seen some where like the colors are just too insane, where like not real.
Yeah,
I mean, once upon a time there was
much, or like you could tell they fake colored it. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like once upon a time there was this like Instagram page that I follow called RealAF.TV, and they had a bass that like looked like it had an American flag on it.
Right.
What the hell are those guys? What the hell are those guys doing over there? Liars.
The DWR officer, because that's what they call him over there, the Department of Wildlife Resources. So they call him the DWR over there in Virginia.
Trying to figure out what those letters.
Yeah, I know. So Virginia Department of Wildlife Resources. That's why they're DWR officers over there. So Molly interviewed one of those people that work over there, Alex McCreck. Darn it, God, so bad at names.
Darn it.
I know that's the now having a 2-year-old that listens to every fucking thing you say. That's my
dude.
That's the thing now.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you this side note real fast. I know we even talked about it, and I was like, well, let's try to get the time and just that side note. I gotta tell you this one.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
So like my son is like old enough to like start comprehending this stuff, and Shannon, my wife, doesn't want us swearing around, and like I'm totally in agreement, not doing any of this stuff. And I guess at school or at his preschool, he's running around and just like out of the blue just goes like, "Oh shit," just like yelled it, and like all the teachers like look at each other, and they told him like, "You can't be doing that." And he comes home and he's telling us, and he's like kind of sad and stuff, and he's like, you know, said a bad word, and I'm like, "What word did you say?" And he goes, "Shit." And I'm just like, dude, I'm like, we can't be saying that stuff. And then I just kind of like, I was like, whatever, I'm going for it. And I go, adults can't say, or like adults can say naughty words sometimes if they want to, because they're adults. But little kids can't talk like that. So, buddy, are you listening to me? This is important. Are you listening to me? You need to knock that shit off. And Shannon like looks up at me like, what? And she's like kind of mad but trying not to laugh, and Beckett just goes and he starts laughing his ass off. And, oh man, yeah,
He's gonna remember that now though. Like that is gonna be part of him remembering how to restrain
right
words. It's so good, dude. That's so good.
Oh yeah, it's like, yeah, it's time. Screw it. I'm saying it right to his face. He's getting this one. Get ready so for some shit, literally.
Right. Okay. So yeah, they interviewed Department of Wildlife Resource Officer Alex McCrickard. You put two C's together like that, I don't know what you're doing. That's why it's hard. So it's
weird.
So
Irish.
they had an actual DNR officer like look at everything and go like, yeah, these happen. And it's, so what it's called is, it's a xanthic fish, XA, and that's what that crappie had.
Okay.
They just didn't call it a xanthic fish in that one. They just said that the fish has xanthism.
Okay.
So xanthism means it's a xanthic fish.
Okay.
It means it's a version of albinism in fish.
Okay.
That's what this is. So I just wanted to say like, yep, they did their they did their research, and stuff, and put out this article.
Sure.
And like, yeah, it's a legitimate albino largemouth bass in Virginia. It was pretty sick.
Right.
Oh, and guess what, dude?
What?
16 and a half inches.
That was a pretty good fish too.
Not so bad, huh?
Yeah. No, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. What's 16? I think that's like 3.5 pounds. I think. Probably.
You'd be proud if you caught it. I mean, you'd be proud to catch that bass.
I'd be proud if it was a baby. Look at the gold.
No, but I mean, like, even if you brought in just a regular largemouth, you'd go like, not a bad fish up here in Minnesota. Yeah. I don't know about Virginia, but
yeah, it's like Pokemon Go. It's like, yeah, it's only a 1-star, but it's still a shiny.
Right.
Like I'm still pumped to get it.
Still super fucking stoked on it.
That shiny's cool. That's crazy too. Like I never really thought about it, but I just had the thought that like when you have a skin pigment issue with like people and stuff, we're not that far off. Like white people are like white, and then like darker pigment. I can't talk. Darker pigment people. That was a hard one.
Yeah,
are like just a like quite a bit lighter version of themselves, not like white.
Right.
Yeah. But like
a
bass is green.
Yeah.
So what would we be golden if we were green? And then we had like would albino green people be golden? And then like
I don't know.
Worshipped in ancient times.
Right, because they just love gold so much.
Oh, he's a golden god.
Right.
It's not, sorry, random side note to just be like, what if people were different colors?
People were green. It's weird how thoughts work sometimes. I love it. Flow of consciousness.
Yep.
Okay. So before we jump into the fishing topic, which is going to be Turbo or Turbot, we're going to get into that.
Oh,
Let's do
dude.
some quick housekeeping things here, and I'm going to make them quick
Yeah.
because, well, we got some other reasons for that. It's none of your business. Just kidding. Just kidding. We're restricted to 2 hours right now is what I'm getting at.
Yep.
The pike fishing video from shore. The short, we've been promising it, I think 2 or 3 podcasts now, maybe 4 or more. Either way, it's out if you go over to youtube.com/@realaftv, or if you're all up in those shorts on your phone and you just look up @realaftv in the
Yeah.
shorts, you're going to find it.
And I think we should be able to get it on Instagram shortly too, because I just have to, did not know where the file was even. And then tonight we get up on here and I look and it's just like, oh, I have it. So now I just
Nice.
have to figure out how to use it.
Right. How to post it and stuff like that. I went to post it to Facebook. Facebook is 30-second videos, not 60 seconds. So that's a problem.
Oh,
I wasn't going to let it trim it. I said,
know
fuck that. And I just posted the YouTube link.
Yeah.
So you will, if you check Facebook on your phone and you click the YouTube link, it will just kick you over to the YouTube short right away. So
Yeah.
I did the same on Twitter just because I was like, well, we're going to do it on one, we're going to do it on the other. Fuck it. Push them all to the,
Yeah.
but I do want to go native on, like, if we can push it straight to Reels, we should.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
So
Yep.
Tim's just got to figure out how to post a reel.
Yeah. I think I know how to do it. I just never tried. So
Right.
as long as there's not some weird stuff that I don't know about that I have to jump through some hoops, it should be up there hopefully by the time this is out. So if you're hearing it, go check.
Kick ass. And yeah, thanks for all the sharing and moving around on YouTube. The views are going up, and I'm stoked on that. Real AFTV Patreon will be our break in the middle. Then I want to let you know that this is a YouTube channel. This is an audio podcast, all that fun stuff. We just put up a new feed in the YouTube for podcasts. I just saw it on the last, as I was posting the last podcast, and podcasts is now a thing on YouTube. So I think that's going to change the way this feeds. I think that YouTube might be working on a podcast specific app. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm absolutely making this up in my mind right now.
Yeah.
But it makes sense because when you go, you can post a video, or you can do this, or you can do that. And now there's just a podcast tube. So I switched the Real AFTV podcast feed to the podcast feed inside of YouTube. And now it continues there. If you go to the YouTube page, you can still see all of them there. So we'll have 2 feeds up for a little while, as it kind of like, as we figure out what the reason for it is and all that fun stuff. But I just wanted to put that out in the podcast so you can go over to YouTube and check us out. But also, something's happening with podcasts over there on YouTube. If you know what it is, leave it in a comment on the YouTube video, please. So that way I have a better understanding of what's actually going on. And we're going to still keep doing the splits over on YouTube. So on the Wednesday, on our off week, you will get the fishing topic. And on the Friday, you will get the random take. That's on our off week because we release this podcast every other Monday. Now it's time to talk about the Turbot or Turbo. What is it, Tim?
Like, I don't even know. I'm excited. Like when I saw it, I was like, I'm not even going to look into this because I'm not 100% sure. I would like to learn together. Just real quick.
What's up?
Sometimes we drink on this. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to point out real quick, I keep showing like salute. And what I'm doing is anybody else watching, you can have a drink too. But I'm cold, man. Josh is feeling under the weather, so he's not trying to drink. I'm not sitting here binge drinking. I am having shots for warmth. Yes. Okay? I just want to let everybody know.
Some Siberia, Greenland, some cold weather shit.
Yeah, I'm in my basement. And I have baseboard heaters, not a furnace, and the heat wasn't on, and I turned it on too late. It's freaking cold down here. So yes, I am definitely pulling like the Russian card. and I'm having vodka, which I'm not a big fan of, so I'm chasing it with orange soda. And
Hell
it's all
yeah.
for warmth. Don't
And it's
judge
for
me.
warmth.
And also, don't do this if you're a child. This
That's
isn't binge drinking, but it will warm you up a little bit. But it technically lowers your temperature, body temperature. So it's kind of dangerous
yeah.
when you're out and about. But I am in the comfort of my own home. But it doesn't really matter. None of this matters. Just if you're underage, don't take any of what I'm saying and think that you should do it for any reason. Don't do it.
But if you are
Okay?
of age, play the drinking game along with Tim over
Yeah,
on
but if you're
youtube.com
of
slash at
age, yeah.
realaftv. Every time you see Tim put one up to the screen, you do it too. Don't
Yeah,
do it
so
while
you're gonna
driving and
take
listening to the podcast, God damn it.
yes. Yeah, exactly. And you're probably
Do it
only
from the
gonna
comfort
have
of your home, like Tim.
yeah. Now we can like drink beer together because I think 2 shots is enough to get some warmth. I'm not trying to get just wasted here. I'm not just gonna be like, it's time, everybody, and just keep going. 2 is enough.
Okay,
I'm
we're gonna
feeling the
we're gonna
warmth.
keep all that in the fishy
Yes.
topic for some fun, so that the people who are watching this in the split understand you missed some of that shenanigans in the beginning half of the podcast.
But dude, I
So
am excited to get into Turbo. Actually, when you say Turbot, all I think of is Burbot. And
yeah,
I
I know.
don't know what Turbot is, but I do like the idea of calling it Turbo.
Yes, me too. And that's how this topic began, is because I just love the idea of a turbo fish.
Turbo fish.
So many images, right? Voices, yes.
Turbo fish. Is it fast or is it like an American Gladiator?
Or
It's
is it
just like,
just like a pancake that lays on the bottom of the ocean?
oh yeah.
Dude.
Oh, is
Oh,
that what is it a flounder? Is it turbot a flounder?
it's not like a flounder. It's not like the flounder. It's not like capital F flounder.
Right.
But yeah, they're all in the same category. It is like when okay.
Mm.
So I'll give the how the topic is, because Turbo is a fucking sweet name,
Yeah,
and we'll
dude.
get into the name thing
How is
in
that
just a
not more
second.
popular than flounder?
Yeah, I know.
Flounder's like a lame name.
But I think there is a flounder fish. So because they
Oh
never
no,
called it
there's
flounder, but they're like, oh yeah, it's a flounder like fish, or it's in the group of a flounder. And I'm
yeah.
like, okay, so then
I'll
okay,
have to do
flounder's
more
a different
research.
topic. I got to keep moving forward, and I just
Right.
kept doing research.
Okay. I'm just like talking out of my ass here. I'm just saying like flounder's like super popular because of its eating, but if a turbo's the same thing, maybe there's just less turbo, so you eat more flounder, and turbo's just as good. And
Turbo
maybe
might be
turbo
better.
might be better.
Yeah, so we'll get into that too. So okay,
Oh,
let me
dude.
and that's how I got on this topic actually. Like this is what happened. Is we're watching a cooking show,
Yeah.
and they say it's a fish. They show the fish. I forget, I
Mm-hmm.
missed the name somehow. Something else is going on, right? I'm like, oh, kick ass. They're going to do flounder. And then I hear turbo a couple times. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in there? Turbo. Why do they keep saying turbo? Like, what on this cooking show could they be
And they
calling a
say
turbo?
turbo? They say turbo
They
too?
were saying turbo, dude, on this cooking
Hell
show the whole
yeah.
time. It was a cooking competition show. So, I mean, they do their research. So I walk in and I just keep watching, and I'm like, okay, something's fishy now. And I don't mean that in a pun way. I just meant like,
Yeah.
and they kept saying turbo. And finally it came on the screen with the name. And the whole time it was on there, they called it a turbo. And it's spelled Turbot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know they were saying turbo. What the fuck? So I
Yeah.
Googled turbo,
Silent T.
Turbo.
Yeah, turbo. And then
Turbo
you saw a
fish.
bunch of turbo fish you put in. I was gonna say you Googled turbo, and then they were just like, do you want to watch it on Netflix? And just like it won't stop telling you about that movie about the snail that gets the power to like
Right. Yeah.
go and race Indy cars or whatever.
It totally came up when I Googled turbo
Oh,
fish,
for sure.
by the way.
Yeah, dude. It's a good movie.
Then there's a picture of Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg, and they just like that all converged. The like worlds collided.
Oh
It
yeah.
was weird.
I'm sure Martha's just like on that turbo.
Well,
She knows
but
about it.
Turbo Snoop is in the Turbo movie, and Martha Stewart and Turbo and
Oh, that's right. He
Snoop do
is.
things together all the time. And Martha Stewart's the fish side, and it was just like,
Right.
yeah, it was like Power Man 5000.
Right. And worlds collide.
So that was how I got on this topic, because I was like, this is fucking crazy. So it was a full fish. So that's why I thought it was a flounder, because when it was on the show, it was a full fish. They had to fillet
Okay.
that damn thing. And so I saw it
Right.
and I said, okay, it's a flounder. And I watched what they did, and the way they filleted it and everything was crazy.
Yeah.
And they were talking it up, but I don't really remember all that. I was too focused on Turbo, the name.
Turbo.
So I look it up because,
Yeah.
like, what is it? You were talking about burbot, right?
Well, yeah, burbot is the eel pout, isn't it? It's not
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, so
And
that's the same thing. And
yeah,
that's like a fat little tiger fish. Like
right. But it's spelled almost the same way, because you say Turbot, turbot,
yeah.
and burbot is spelled almost the same way,
Yeah.
but we don't call it a burbo or something
No,
like that.
Burbo would be weird. I think everybody would be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But turbo, everybody's like, "Dude, it's totally turbo."
It's totally turbo.
Turbo. Yeah. I was like, I'm pretty sure that the American Gladiator was named Nitro. I don't know if there was a turbo, but I was
I don't
just
know if
laughing
it
at
was either.
myself thinking about just being like having an outing and just being like, we're going to go catch Turbo. And then it's just like this jack dude in a leotard, like sitting behind the like tennis ball launcher thing. And he's like, come and get it. Like, no, not you, dude. Not you, Turbo. You're cool, dude. We're not trying to catch you. Just stay up in
I
your
feel like I could
tower.
make that into a short.
Right.
Just a gladiator behind that big thing, and the fucking smoke is blowing. It's like, all right, we're gonna go out and catch turbot, and then
We'll see who catches who. Dum, 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 dum. Oh.
all that to drive home. I'm calling it Turbo.
I'm calling it Turbo for the rest of my life. It
It's
has now made it on the list of fish I need to catch. For sure. It's got way too cool of a name to not seek that out. Plus, if it's better than flounder, this is a fish we must seek out.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be difficult, but we'll get into that too. First, let's get into the shit I always fuck up every time we try to do this.
Okay.
Pseudo maxima.
Oh, yeah. Latin.
That's the scientific name. Pseudo maxima. Sounds like one we've done before, because we were like maxima, something maxima. I can't remember what it
Right.
was.
I
This
think
one's
all
kind of
Latin
lame,
sounds
though.
the same.
Right. This one's kind of lame, though. Like, okay, that's your scientific name.
Right. You could tell me that was a mussel or like another fish. Like, it'd just be like, what's a Paceta maxima? It's either a fish that looks like a flounder or like a bicep.
Or Nissan's new electric car. I'm not sure.
Yeah, who knows? It's close. It's right there.
It's one of those three things. So this is where I think, and I should have done my research, so I'm just going to put this out there as like, I did not research flounder by itself. I was like, that's a separate topic. Focus
Okay.
on the turbot.
Yep.
Turbo. No, there we go. I said it.
Turbo.
I do call it a turbo, and I will call it a turbo. But the family, it's a Scophithalidae. Dude. Scophithalimade.
Oh, that's it. I'm pulling up the drive here.
Yeah, I'm going to spell this out for everyone out there and see why I'm laughing and stumbling over this. Scophthalidae. Why the fuck is there a PH and a TH next to each other? How the fuck am I supposed to handle that? Give me a break here.
Yeah, dude.
Scophithalimade.
Scoph.
So that is
I think you nailed it.
That's the family of fish, and so they're these flat fish. Now, dude, this is the crazy thing, right?
Yeah.
It's European. That's why it will be hard to catch. That's why it's hard to put on the bucket list.
Oh, that's okay. Let's go to Europe.
Yeah.
Well, once
I,
this Russia shit blows over.
So it's a left-sided flatfish.
Dude.
Yeah, they specifically call out that it's left-sided flatfish, and I was like, "What in the fuck? It's a flatfish. What do you mean?"
I've never even thought about that before. So
I
what's the difference between a left-sided and a right-sided? Like which way the eyes face?
There was no
Because when it's one
specifics. Again,
side,
I didn't look it up.
dude, my mind is
Is it
blown right now. Like if it's
That's why I had to
one-sided,
put it
how do you
down.
know if
Mine
it's
too.
left or right? If you look at a
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like, okay, like if you look at a Nerf football and it's white on the top and red on the bottom,
Mhm.
how would you know if that's left or right facing unless you're looking at like it's got to be the eyes
Or the way the
and
mouth
which or
maybe
the
the mouth,
mouth, yeah, where the
like,
mouth
if the
is
mouth is up.
positioned.
Yeah, I don't.
I've
Yep.
never even thought about it. I assumed that all those weird flat fish were the same fish, just slightly different.
Right.
So now there's a left and
I
a
know.
right facing fish, and it's a
Yeah.
whole different way you have to approach them.
Yeah.
Just like you got the forward facing sonar, and you can see he's facing that way, and you're like, you got to cast over there because he's not going to see it if you cast over there.
It's a
Oh, dude,
left-facing
I
one.
never
You're like,
even thought about it. I
"Isn't
thought
that fucking crazy, dude?"
it
I'm
is.
glad you're as blown away by it as me.
I am. I never assumed like I guess I never even looked at where their mouths were positioned. I thought it was like a stingray, but like backwards.
Oh, yeah.
Like mouth was just like on the top.
No. Nope. They have mouths that, like they have, like, a flat mouth. Yeah.
Damn, dude, my knowledge of flounder is like it tastes good, and he had a good funny cameo in Finding Nemo. "Hey, where'd you go? Where'd you go?" All the fish get on that one side of them, and they
It's
just
really
can't
good.
find them.
Yep.
Oh, dude,
I
mind
like that one.
blown. I'm definitely gonna have to look into this more because
Yeah.
that is insane to me.
Yeah. I definitely encourage anybody out there listening to Google this fish because, yeah, that blew my mind. And so here is also part of the reason why, like, I don't have more information on the flatfish, left-sided flatfish thing, the flounder specifically, because this was one of the hardest fish to research.
Really?
Britannica, dude, the Encyclopedia Britannica,
Yeah.
one of its this is a quote that I will read from
Yeah.
Britannica. This was one of the main things from the Britannica article.
Okay.
Highly valued food fish.
Really? I
Cooking
thought
these
you were.
things is all that you can find on the internet. I pieced this together from so many different articles
Yeah.
because cooking, you can go to images and you'll get images of the fish.
Yeah.
But you Google you Google turbo fish, turbot, right? Like with the
Yeah.
T on it, and you get cooking, 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 cooking. So yes, we are going to cover
Man.
cooking, but it was really hard. And that's why, like, I got really focused in, and I don't have the answers for the left side and the right side fish. And I don't have the answer for flounder and all this stuff. And like people were calling it a kind of flounder, but it wasn't. Like, it was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So anyways, I also did look it
Dang,
up,
dude.
and there's turbot and turbo all over the place. The majority of
Okay.
people are pronouncing it turbo. French. The French pronunciation of it is turbo. That to leave that T, so it's a turbo.
Okay.
So
That is, bro.
that's why people call it turbo.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that call it turbot. So
So
either
it's
way,
like
that's why
so
I
it's like a
said
French. It's like a French pronunciation.
yes. That's the way.
Turbo.
Yeah, that was the way that I found it. Yes, was that it was it was French. Just
Turbot. Yeah, I was just looking. So apparently, flounder is the same left facing, but it looks like halibut is right facing.
There you
But
go.
they're all very similar. Like I literally just clicked on it. I was only trying to look at what this fish looked like
Yeah.
to get a better idea because I kind of forgot how they were like the layout, but the jaw is almost kind of like hinged, like what a crappie's would be.
Yep.
Where it kind of like, it almost looks like that like airplane hanger, like where it kind of like comes down when it's like the top lip doesn't move, the bottom lip does.
Yeah, the bottom lip is and it kind of like opens a door.
Yeah. So it looked like those two. I wasn't even trying to do comparisons. I just put in Turbo, and the like second thing that pops up is like Turbo versus Flounder. So I clicked on that, and it was like they look exactly the same. And then it was like Turbo versus Halibut. So I clicked that, and I'm like, oh, okay, here we are. Slightly different fish. Halibut looks a lot different. Like but the Turbo and the Flounder are super close.
Yeah.
But now I understand the difference between right and it's weird too that they even say facing because their eyes are right on the top of their head.
On top of their head.
They look the same way. It's almost like it should say left mouth opening because it's just the way the mouth
it was
opens
the mouth
almost.
then that kind of made the difference.
Yeah, pretty much like the halibut, like it's that same idea where the top lip stays and the bottom lip moves.
Yep.
It's like one mouth opens that way, the other mouth opens that way.
And that's pretty much because
that's
like you said,
that's the main difference. Halibut has almost like a different shape to it, and halibut from the pictures I saw real quick looks like it gets way bigger. But I think definitely they're in the same family of weird, same side of the fish eye.
Right, the flat, weird flat fish.
Weird flat fish, yes.
Yeah. So yes, I think you're right that they do because the Turbo really as big as it gets is 55 pounds and 40 inches.
Yep.
So
damn, dude, that's a fight though.
I bet it is.
For a flat fish, those things probably fight like hell.
I bet you they do.
Yeah.
Because you told the story about the ray. And it's not the same thing, but think about that surface area in that way. And like, dude, it has to be nuts, right?
Dude, I mean, yeah, just if you think about like just scientifically, like if you put a plate on its side and try to move it through water, like butter, if you put it like horizontal,
supposed to sit.
Oh man, the water it disperses when you try to lift it.
Yeah,
is crazy. And then you have a fish that fights you like that, and it's made to stay sideways like that
and swim towards the bottom. For fuck's sake.
Yeah,
crazy, right?
Oh, I bet it's a hell of a fight when you're looking at that big of a fish too. That's a big ass fish when it's not shaped like a dinner plate, 40 inches, 55 pounds. That's a big fish.
Yeah. I mean, they are ocean fish. So, I mean, for the ocean, yeah, sure. Not that big, right? That's a big fish.
That's a big fish. For sure.
So to get into the environment stuff.
Yeah.
This is northeast Atlantic to the Mediterranean. So kind of think of, going up towards it goes up the coast. Like just think about the side of Europe that faces us.
Okay.
That's the side of Europe that faces the United States. Yeah. So it kind of runs that and goes down into the Mediterranean and stuff like that. So there's different kinds of these fish, like as far as they look, because they take on the look of their environment. Like you saw, Tim, it looks like sand, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So just I guess they change a little bit as they go through because it doesn't matter sand or muck or mud or whatever. It sits on the bottom. And so,
Yeah.
you just know how regional camouflage works. I mean, we've
Right.
kind of talked
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
So
and
they can look different.
they're definitely made to camouflage and stuff because I mean, it's not the same for all ocean fish, but a lot of ocean fish are very bright colored, and
Mm-hmm.
these ones are like, I'm one with the dirt. Like it's just like a ninja.
Yeah, dude.
It's like the ninja of fish.
Yeah, they are. They're like the ninja fish, dude. Well put. And that color and texture on them or whatever, because they have
Yeah.
texture to them too. They have
Oh,
kind of raised bumps and shit like
okay.
that. Um, but no scales.
Oh, yeah, you could see it by looking at them. They look like they would be soft like a catfish.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Remember when we
Yeah.
talked about catfish and how catfish are like skin fish? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So
Yep.
these are totally scaleless fish.
They look like they'd be soft like a catfish, not like rough like a shark. Like because
Yeah.
sharks don't
Well,
have
except for those
scales
bumps
either.
that they have to like.
Right.
Usually those
Right.
bumps are part of their camouflage, from what I saw.
So I wonder maybe they would be a little bit more rough if it's like textured. I don't know for sure though. I don't know because I feel like a octopus would be like smooth too. I've never touched an octopus, but they have textured skin.
They can put texture into their skin, like as
Right.
part
They
of their
can. Yes.
camouflage. But
Yes.
when they're
You're.
dead,
Yeah.
that all goes limp.
Yeah.
They're smooth. They're slimy. They're weird.
So I might be saying that wrong then. Like it's their skin is just always textured. So maybe they right,
On a,
that's what you're
yes,
saying?
on the
So maybe
turbo. The
they
turbo is
yeah. So maybe
yep,
they do feel like a shark kinda.
yeah. Oh yeah, because sharks are without scales too.
Yeah. They're
I
just
can
it's
say
just
this.
I've touched a shark before, alive and dead.
Yep.
Dissected one and I've touched them, you can always do that nurse shark or whatever.
Yep.
They're just
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, go to the zoo and touch a shark."
Yep. I know.
They always
It's weird.
like kind of like a very very fine grit sandpaper,
Yeah. I
like
do wonder if
over.
they're like that too.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I've never
Now,
touched one, but it would be sweet. It would be sweet to
reason
get one.
reason number 37 to go find a turbo. Put it on the list.
Is I want to touch that thing.
I want to touch that thing. I want to eat that thing. I want to say I caught a turbo. I want to say I'm going fishing for a turbo. Oh, I put
So
it.
knowing what you know about dweller
Hmm.
fish, I know you're not a bottom dweller fish kind of guy necessarily. Like it's
Yeah.
not your primary kind of fish, but like I don't know why, but it surprised me. What do you think this thing eats?
So these, I know this kind of stuff.
Ah,
I don't know about the turbo, but I know about the flounder.
yep. It's
These
gonna
are
be the
not
same.
bottom dwellers in the sense that they're eating stuff off the bottom. These are like what you were talking about being the ninja. They camouflage, they wait, and they smash shit when it swims past. They are
Yeah,
hiding down
dude.
there
Yep.
waiting to ambush prey.
That's why it surprised me. It's like the
Yeah.
carnivorous turbo, and I'm like, fuck
Yeah.
me. What? And then
Yep.
you start thinking about it more, and I go, oh yeah, of course this thing fucking eats fish.
Yep. Yep. They're
So
ambush predators. Like
totally.
they bury themselves down to like just their eyes are poking out. So all you see, as long as you're like, if you're not paying attention, like a passing fish could probably catch the lens
Hmm.
and just see the flash and then
Hmm.
just be like, "Oh, eyeball, shit," and then take off. But
Yeah.
if they don't see it,
Right.
they're definitely about to get inhaled.
They're gonna be,
Yeah.
yeah, inhaled. Yeah, it says it just eats crabs, crustaceans, tiny cod. You come
Yep.
by, it's eating fish. This
Yep.
fish is eating fish for sure. Yep. Uh oh, dude, this was a little bit of a surprise to me of how fast they grow. So in 3 years they reach sexual maturity, and
Okay.
they can grow 30 centimeters in 3 years. So they can be up to 30 centimeters long. So you want me to convert that
Yeah, I was just trying
into
to
feet?
figure it out. I was like, how
Here, I'll do
meters?
it.
What, like a half an inch about?
2 inches. So 30, it would be, yeah, so it's like a foot.
A foot? Okay, so not quite a half inch.
So in 3 years, they're already 12-inch fish. That's when they hit their maturity and start breeding already. So like they're pretty quick to get after it. I'm sure
Mm.
there's fish out there that do it quicker, but like
That might be pretty on par.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure. I would think ocean fish grow bigger, but I think like a 3-year-old walleye is probably going to be around like 12 inches.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
the same
Yeah.
for like a bass and stuff too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I
This
think
was
I
just
think
the article I read said it was pretty fast growing for 30 centimeters in 3 years. I was like, oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, I don't know 100%. I haven't really like paid attention too much to how old fish are.
Well,
I
these can
just
live up to
know,
25 years, dude.
damn, dude, that's a long time.
That's an old
That's a
fish, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't I don't think we're looking at anything around like the 20-year mark in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I think bass are like not even close to that.
Like under 10.
Yeah, I want to say like our bass live longer than the ones down south. And they're like around that 10 mark.
Yeah.
And then like down south they're less than that on average.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Makes
But I
sense.
would
Yeah.
assume that a ocean fish has to grow faster, but that's only getting to like the big size of our fish.
Yeah.
Like that's like a
Yeah.
good pike. Well, it's not quite comparable. 40 inches is a good size. I don't think you'd get a 40-inch pike that weighs 55 pounds.
Right. Right.
But,
So that's the thing you have to think about. I get what you're saying there.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it's impressive though. I wonder how fast it grows cuz some fish seem to grow at different intervals. Like
Mm,
muskies seem to grow fast to like 40. Like they seem to get up there quick. But then to
gotcha.
get those real monsters, it takes a while,
Yeah.
you
And
know?
you're
And
wondering
that
if this thing if a turbo lives 25 years, if it sort of lives in that same zone. Is that
right.
what your curiosity is? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious if it's like grown the whole time or if it's like hitting max, 10 years in.
Right.
And then for 10 years it's just lurking around as this 55-pound ninja. Boof, just
Flat ninja.
snatching up your children.
Hide your
Wrong.
kids, hide your wife.
Don't go swimming in Mr. Flounder's neighborhood. Isn't that what even happens in Finding Nemo? They're like, I told you not to go over there. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? And then he swims around, but it's like, oh, you could have been food. That's the first thing I thought in that movie.
I
Like,
don't know.
clearly they're not going to have him eat, but they have the barracuda just being like, oh, it's terrifying because the barracuda is going to eat eggs. That doesn't happen. And then the flounder just like
Right.
chases the kids around, like, get out of my yard. That flounder would have messed those kids up, dude.
It's a good point. It would have.
Yeah. Disney
Yeah.
movies, What,
Right,
what can you
exactly.
do?
Um,
Otherwise, that movie's like super realistic. Everything that happens is on par.
yeah.
Everything's 100% legit. There's
Yeah.
school for the manatee teaches all the kids what to do. You can fly across the world in the beak of a pelican to get places. It's like all
And
100%.
you'll run into a
Yeah,
vegetarian shark.
yeah. That's why I get hung up on just that one part because the rest of it is all
It's just like so on
just
point.
real life. It was like a documentary. Oh,
So before we get into the fishing, just the last thing that brings us to fishing, in my opinion,
yep.
is they lay a lot of eggs, the 10 to 15 million eggs. And that
Okay.
spawning time is, which I guess I say a lot of eggs because that's a big number, but I don't know if that's a lot for an ocean fish.
Yeah, I don't know.
But so they lay down a pretty good amount of eggs. So though they're not super prevalent in the wild, there's not an abundance of them in the wild. Part of it is because of their prize level of eating. But they do the spawn thing from April until August. So they have to be pretty vulnerable there, like during prime fishing time, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
So, what's that rig called, Tim? because we're going to talk about fishing and like, hey, I guess all summer long these things are spawning. So like, there you go. You can use that to your advantage if it's legal in your area. These are European, so who the hell knows? Oh, and there's also a Greenland
Yeah.
turbo. Greenland. That's a video
Okay.
game level. But yeah, there's a Greenland turbot too. That thing is like dark mud. That thing's not as
Oh,
prized. That thing is not as it's not the
sure.
European like turbo that we're talking about. Because
Right.
there's a few other ones, but we're gonna get into the talking about the European one and how prized it is. So, anyways, what's that rig called when you put a weight on it and it hits the bottom, and then you got a string coming off the back with a hook on it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Texas
talking about?
rig. Yeah.
That's what you fish these things with, dude.
Or you're talking about like you just drag it on the bottom, like behind a boat, like you troll it?
No, I mean it didn't
Oh,
say troll. It didn't say that they were trolling. Not
yeah.
where I read.
Well, because what you just said could be a number of different rigs depending on how you fish it. If it's like a bullet weight
Okay, yeah,
with
that's
like a hook, like you have, like a creature bait or whatever it might be.
yep.
Whatever your bait is, if your soft plastic is on a hook and
Okay,
then the line is there, and then in front of the hook is a bullet weight,
yes.
you can peg that weight so it doesn't move, or you can like leave it free flowing so the hook can pull it in and out. That's a Texas rig.
Ah, okay.
Because a Lindy rig is technically like also the same thing if you're pulling it, where a Lindy rig is a weight where the line goes through and there's bait on the hook, but there's like 3 or 4 feet between the weight, sometimes more, but
Yep,
between the weight and the
yep.
bait, and you're just kind of dragging it on the bottom. That's a trolling method,
Oh,
like where
okay.
you're just driving and trolling it.
Okay.
And then a little weirder one, and like that's kind of like a Texas rig still, is called a Carolina rig,
Okay.
which might actually be something that you could use for this too, where it's like a
Yeah.
weight, and then it's like sometimes there's like some beads and stuff on it.
Uh-huh.
But the difference really, we don't need to get into how it's rigged, but the difference really is the idea of a Texas rig is you're jigging it, so you're bouncing it off the bottom. So that would be something that
Oh.
if you're trying to use like a creature bait or a bait
Oh.
fish, but a Carolina rig is something that you literally just drag across the bottom. So that would work if you're trying to use like maybe a crayfish, or in this case like a crab.
Ah.
So you could probably catch it on like a Carolina rig if you had like a setup with a crab, maybe one of those new Berkeley crabs where it's like looks like a crab and it has
Oh,
that
yeah.
one claw that kind of swims. You put that on a Carolina rig, I bet that shit would work.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about those. I was like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck? They make crab plastics?" I was blown away. I remember that.
Yeah.
No,
And if you're
that's
wondering
good.
how they're rigged, just Google a Carolina rig, because it's way easier for you to Google a picture than it is for me to try to explain it with words. Because that
You
one's
did a
kind
good
of
job.
weird.
I
Yeah,
got it.
it's got some beads and a weight, and it's a little bit different. Like I bet you don't know what it looks like though. If you saw it, you'd be like,
I
"Oh, that's
got
a
you.
little bit different. There's a little bit more going on there than I thought."
Okay. 'Cause yeah,
Yeah,
I got what you're yes, you're
yeah,
right. My mental image was I just took the Texas rig and kinda modified it with some beads and stuff,
yeah.
and you're
It's
like,
kind of,
"Ah, this
yeah.
is too much."
It's kind of that, but it's
Okay.
kind of different too.
Right.
Like I've never fished one. It's just not the lakes I fish. It doesn't. It's not what I would choose over anything else. So around here, it's not, because I
Mhm.
fish a lot of weedy lakes. I think
Sure.
it kind of excels where there's not a lot of weeds because you're just dragging on the bottom.
Yeah. Which is, of course, what this is. Like, to get
Yeah,
a turbo, it's
yeah,
you fish the sandy or muddy bottom. Like,
sure,
you wanna get down to the bottom,
right,
but you don't want the bait to be in or, I say
right,
bait, but,
right.
you can put a creature bait on it. You could put it
Yeah,
whatever you wanna call soft plastic.
yeah, and they're
So,
probably
yeah.
not picky. That's one too where some of the other ones some of the other fish you got to trick and make sure like that they think it's something, because they gotta make a split decision. Sometimes you're trying to work a bait over it fast, so they got to make that split decision.
Uh-huh.
I bet these are almost easier to fish if you know where they're at, because
Yeah?
they don't
Why?
have that time to think about stuff.
Oh,
They're either attack when it passes or let it go. And
that's
if
it.
it
They have
and
two
it
options,
yeah,
you're
and
saying.
if it comes across them, I bet anything that moves is getting hit.
Right, right,
But the hard part is probably finding them because they're not on the move. They're just down on the dirt. You got to know
right,
where you're going.
right. And dude, I read that these things can be up to 100 meters down. So I don't know if
Damn,
that
dude.
changes the rig that you're talking about, but like I'm telling you, I read that what you said, you went into more detail than this article, and you've never even fished for these things, but you're making great points, and that was what I saw.
I don't even
It didn't
know.
give it those names, like the article that I read didn't give it all those names
Yeah.
and shit like that. But like
Maybe you can do some sort of a Carolina rig. That's so far down. You say 100 meters?
100 meters, dude, it's like 300 feet.
That's 300 feet. I don't even know. We have to ask our buddy Tony. Dude, how do you fish 300 feet on the bottom? I've never fished a water where I'm trying to get to the bottom in 300 feet.
Right.
Yeah, dude,
That
that's
I mean, they
crazy.
can be there. They do go up into the shallows. Like
Yeah.
there are shallow ones, right? Like
I
they're definitely up where the sun is getting to them, and they're
Sure,
the soft
sure.
sandy bottoms and shit like
Yeah.
that. They're
And
definitely up there. Now I don't know
time
what
of the
depth that is,
year.
but
Yeah, time of the year plays a role. I'm guessing like if they're, I don't know what uh, their life cycles like and everything that they do, but
right,
maybe
right,
spawning they move shallow like almost everything else does. So
right.
maybe they're up in the shallows when it's time to spawn, trying to find a spot. You think actually for them it makes more sense to probably go deep when it's time to spawn because the current, I don't know, ocean fish are weird.
Yeah,
I don't know a lot about the not current but the tides. I don't know how a tide going in and out affects stuff. I don't know anything about
right,
tides.
right,
So that plays a role of that there's constantly this current of going in and out and you got to lay eggs, and
right.
our
And
fish up
dude,
here are
the
normally
eggs
trying to
float
find a
too. I didn't
sheltered
even say
area.
that.
Oh, I mean, which would make sense because you probably just like let them go, and I don't know if you just kind of like swim around your little cloud of floating eggs or what, dude. I don't know.
Yeah,
Did you?
I have no idea.
This is a little bit of a just a curiosity question. Um, did it say anything about there being hybrids? Like,
No, I couldn't find
because
anything about hybrids,
I
but
real quick just Googled it because I had that thought and I was like, oh, I wonder. Because then we could answer that question for anybody if they have that question.
right.
You know what comes up when I put in turbo hybrid? You guessed it. I got a bunch of Porsche stuff is the first stuff I
I was just gonna
saw.
say you got a supercar. Yep. That's
Yeah.
why I couldn't even. I just laughed because I knew immediately it was just gonna be an
Yeah.
electronic assisted turbo
Yeah.
car. Like,
Exactly. I even put the T in there and Google just goes searching for turbo and it shows that it changed it for me. And I'm just like, that T wasn't by accident, Google. And then I put in turbo hybrid fish and I don't know. It wasn't clear enough in the first like three choices for me to research, but I
right,
didn't
right,
see anything like straight off the bat.
yeah. So,
So I don't know, but I was
dude,
curious that
no,
like
this
there's
is why I wanted to bring up the fishing topic, is because the article I read, it had that, and you just named all the rigs that I've ever, that I was like, yeah, that's it. That's what it looks like. So it's just great. It's a great thing because it's like you know this stuff and you've never fished for this fish, but I bet you if somebody could tell you where they are and just said, yeah, man, they're out over there, and you would be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go try. How deep are they?
yeah,
Like, or like
yeah.
you could just pull up a map. Like, I think you could probably go and get one. But this is the other part of it that the article was very worried about. Like, it felt like it really had to point out is you have to be really gentle. It must have said gentle like 5 times in there.
Oh,
But it also says that in the cooking article is very weird.
okay.
They're very delicate fish, I guess. But
Oh,
ripping lips on these things, I guess.
rib and lips.
Yeah. So think about that. That fish is probably going to fight like hell because it's a flat fish. But you also
Yeah,
have to try to be as delicate as possible because it's easy to rip lips on it.
easy to rip lips on a stupid sideways mouth.
I know. So what does that do? Does that doesn't cut out anything that you just said though, like the Texas rig or Carolina or anything like that,
No, I
right?
don't think so. It'd be like you just got to make sure that you're not doing the whole like 16-year-old hook set,
Yeah.
just like just two steps back. Girl, just whoa, buddy, chill. I don't know. It might even be something where you just kind of like reel it up. Don't even like set the hook much. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
switch up the hook on it. Um, maybe there is some sort of a different rig that they use when it's that deep because you'd be probably looking at like a decent sinker when you're trying to get it that deep. And maybe they put like a circle octopus hook, which the design of that is like the hook's really supposed to set itself. You just kind of like reel it up, and the way it's the point of the hook is curved and stuff. When you reel it up, it just kind of like
Mm-hmm.
rotates itself on the way out of the mouth, and it just kind of
Oh, really?
sets the hook on its own. Yeah. So maybe you're just,
Oh,
maybe you're doing sort of a modified version of something like that where you just have a big
right.
sinker with a, maybe it's even like maybe because you're dealing with tides and stuff too. Maybe it's something like you would use on the river. Maybe you have
Oh.
almost like a big egg sinker
Uh-huh.
and you're just kind of like reeling it, and it's kind of like a modified version of almost like the Lindy rig that I was talking about that you troll with.
Uh-huh.
And you just kind of like let the water, let it fall down, and you just kind of like slowly pull it across the bottom.
Uh-huh.
And if you feel something bite, you just let it eat it. And then you just slowly reel it up
And
and
you
let
just
that
keep
hook
doing your thing?
set it. Yeah, you
Like, you
just
just pause for
slowly,
a second, let it take it, and then you just keep
yeah.
going, and eventually that sets it?
Yeah, like you just open the bail and you let it go, and eventually, like count to 20, 30. Sometimes people count to like 60
Uh-huh.
when they're dealing with fish that are a little bit more finicky, and then close the bail and just like slowly reel it up till you feel tension and that hook will set itself.
Huh.
And then just like, I don't know, keep the drag loose and fight it slow.
Right, right,
Don't try to horse it in.
right.
Don't do like you see some of those dudes in the videos of like where they got the Goliath grouper on the line, and those guys are literally like
Those are
two or three guys are like holding the rod and they're all lifting together like ugh, like
right.
no, just chill. Just chill. Just it's gonna be a fight. Gotta
Right.
be in it for the long haul.
Yeah. Like,
I
hang
don't
in
know
there,
for sure.
stay just
I'm very curious. Now it
yeah.
sounds like even more of a challenge too,
I know.
where it's
I
like,
know.
yeah, they're delicious and they're like harder to find and they have soft faces.
Yeah. But here's the cool thing.
Yeah.
They tend to run in smaller schools. So, like, there's kind of like there's small groups. So,
Okay.
basically, it was like, if you can get one in, you can probably get 2 or 3,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah. So, that was
If you're
pretty
in the
cool.
right, if you're right, if you find the minefield,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to set a couple of them off.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
Well put, well put. So, fishing was great. Now we're gonna get to the cooking part. I
Yeah.
The fishing part of this was so small because I only found one article on it.
Okay.
Tim, you killed it on that. I just want to I'm gonna give you a mid podcast compliment on that one
Thanks, man.
because you don't know how to fish this fish specifically. You're using your knowledge and you're applying it is great, dude. It's perfect. Like that is really FTV. Learn from us, learn some things, go out and do your own thing. Man.
Yeah.
Uh okay. Cooking. So it's a white flesh fish. One of those, I mean, a
Yeah.
walleye is like that, right?
clean. Well, that's exactly when you said delicate. That's exactly what I was picturing.
Yeah.
Was just nice, clean, flaky.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of fish,
Yep.
which is part of what makes it so prized is that
Sure.
sort of flesh on a fish, right? It is
Yep.
just sort of the like what we've come to enjoy
Okay.
as human beings, I think, right?
Yep. Yep. For sure.
So I read mostly British article on this, and I'll tell you why is because the Brits seem to be way into it, even though the name seems to be French.
Yeah.
They hang out around the Britain area, you know.
Okay. Yep.
You can fish. I from the way it sounded is the Brits do fish for them. But for some reason it really seemed like the British were really into it, and it's like the Chinese eat the most of it. Well, I mean, they're like the most populous country in the world, so
Right.
but it's really big over there too.
Sure.
So that's not the fish that we were talking about. That's like they have turbo over there, but it's not this east. Obviously, China's not in the Atlantic.
Right.
So British article, they said wet heat is preferred for cooking this fish. Wet heat? What the fuck? That sounds gross.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then they said steaming.
Like that's what I was gonna say. Steaming it.
Yeah, steaming it and poaching
Okay.
it. Have you ever steamed or poached a fish?
Mm-mm.
No, me neither.
No, I've never.
Me neither. I
The
never even thought
closest,
to boil a fish. Like that never even crossed my mind.
literally the only, like the closest. I guess I've technically boiled fish for like a fish cake, where like you boil like the potatoes and the fish together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then it's
Oh,
like you just kind of like mash it up a little bit at the end, and then like form it into cake. There's other ingredients like breadcrumbs and shit that goes into it.
right. Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, no,
no,
I
I've
never knew
never
that. Never heard
thought.
that.
I've never thought of. I mean, technically, I guess I think I've steamed a fish technically
Okay,
because you can get tilapia in like pouches, and I've tried that
oh,
before. Because
okay,
you could put it in a pouch, and you put it in a pouch with like other ingredients, like potatoes and whatever, and then you like wrap the like foil pouch, and then you
yeah,
like throw that in the oven. And I think that's technically like steaming it because it's in its own little
yeah,
ecosystem. I don't know how to say
yeah.
it
So
better.
you jumped ahead and you didn't even know you were going to because the steaming, like
Yeah,
you could put it in a steamer, like a steam basket or something like that, or like we have a rice maker that is actually a steamer where it has a basket in it and you can set it in there and it would steam. And you
yeah,
could do that. Poaching is boiling. I mean, come on, don't be
right,
don't be all fancy
yeah.
about it. And then of course you could always go with the tried and true El Papillote method,
Oh shit, yeah.
right?
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, of course, El Papillote.
The El Pepiatia Burbot.
Yeah,
I said
you
burbot.
already
Damn
said
it.
it, dude. It means wrap the motherfucking fish in
Screwed it up.
tinfoil.
Trying to be all
Because you said
fancy
burbot.
and
You
said
said burbot.
burbot. Yeah.
But that's it. El Papillote. I'm like, okay,
El
you're
Pepiat.
just gonna
That's
write that in
wrapped in
this article and
tinfoil?
move on? What do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
they literally just wrote El Papillote and moved on. And yeah, it just means wrap the fucking thing in tinfoil.
You do not know this.
That's it. You ever wrapped the fish in tinfoil and baked it? Okay, you El
Yep.
Papillote then.
You El Pepiat.
Yeah.
That's funny that they call it something so, like, I know it's French. Maybe it, you know, those words in French could be like ass turd, you know? like, so it sounds fancy because it's French. Who knows?
Right.
But like, you do the same thing with a hamburger and some potatoes, and you throw that on the grill,
Yeah.
and it's called a hobo. It's like
Right.
it's just
Exactly.
like, oh, we call it a homeless person when we do it with hamburger, but you do it with French, and it's called El Pepillote.
Right. I know. And I was like, oh, they way oversold that one because it's not just wrapping it in tinfoil and baking it because you could use anything, you could wrap it in a banana leaf or, some other thing like that.
Yeah.
But like I just went right to like, no, I know what you're doing. I know this is how we do it. You throw it in a fucking tinfoil pouch
Right.
with some
Right.
butter.
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Don't fucking El Papi at me.
How bad be at me, bro. It's
So
a foil pouch.
I looked up Great American Chef Bobby Flay's recipe. And he was like, pan sear it. He just
Fancy.
seared it in a pan. Just oil, butter, whatever, some fat in a
I
pan.
think it's hard to
Put
beat
it in.
a pan sear, man. Like steamed has got to be nice, but like when you get that little bit of crust, like that caramelization, that browned up crust,
Yeah.
works for everything.
Yeah.
And like that scallops are pan seared,
Yeah.
and that's a super delicate white meat, you know.
Yep. Yep.
And man, they're the best. And I've never even heard of anybody saying they cook scallops any other way. I think
Right.
sometimes they do like
I've never.
do like a butter braising or something, and you get them
That's the
like
same thing, just different.
yeah, kind of yeah. It's weird. I don't know. I'm not a top chef, but I like to cook, so I know some of these things. And it's like every time I've had like a pan seared version of anything, it's always better.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yep. Oh, and that, by the way, that's also without the skin on. Like almost all this is without the skin on.
with okay, sure,
Like they take the skin off. So part of cleaning the fish is, get down and however you clean a flat fish, which it's really weird. You just kind of have to look it
yeah,
up, but it's no different, right? You feel the bones, you go through it. It's just it's how you butcher any animal. You just got to find the bones.
right. You
Um
just gotta know. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You just gotta know where the bones are, and don't
Right.
take the bones with it, or
Right.
if there are bones, know how to cut around them. Yeah,
Right.
I do wonder what the layout is, though. You would think it's probably got to be like muscles on both sides because it looks like the fish is a normal fish. It just has two eyes on the same side of its
You
head.
just take the two big fillets off the top of it is what I pretty much saw.
Oh,
Is ba
really?
Yeah, like, you don't do anything with the bottom. That's what I've seen.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep. So,
I
like
just when you look at the layout of the fish, it almost looks like it still has two halves like a normal fish, even though they're
right.
different colors.
Yeah.
But then it has both eyes on the one side. But I
Right.
guess that makes more sense.
Yeah,
Probably
because
has a
there's
whole
something
different
different about the
muscle set
bottom.
and everything.
It's a bright white gut, which I forgot to say when we
Right.
were talking about the other, when we were
Yeah,
actually
because it
talking about the science and biology part of it.
yeah, because it definitely looks like the belly of like how a normal fish has like a white belly and then
Yeah.
like the colored top.
Yep.
But this is like they're just such a different species of
Well,
fish.
just
It's
like a
so
ray,
weird.
right? Like a ray has a white
Right.
belly too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. But the ray is like clearly set up for that, you know? It
I
doesn't
know.
look like this weird, like, oh, it's a fish on its side.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's only visually is it that a way to explain that it's like super white on the bottom and then
Right.
ground colored on the top.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's I don't know. The filleting I saw did not do anything with the bottom of the fish, almost like there wasn't enough flesh there
Right.
to do anything with. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, the Brits were like, hey, basically boil this thing. And Bobby Flay was like, nah, pan sear it. I saw another one, pan sear it. And then I
Right.
keep reading this British article that was like, it's such a delicate fish, so delicate. You have to be very precise on what you want to do, and you have to treat it very nicely and very carefully and delicate. And they just kept saying all these words that just
Right.
made it sound so fragile.
Right.
And then they're like, yeah, but pan sear, and it's like, it's totally a thing. It was
My
like
name
at
is
the
Turbo.
bottom. I'm like, what the fuck?
I'm not no flaky little bitch. My name's Turbo.
And so the Brits said um that it was not recommended to pan sear it and not recommended to grill it, but I did find grilling recipes, and that's when the skin was on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it said basically that it would the flesh would come off the skin.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's perfect. It's
I
like a
know.
rib.
That's what
It's
I
like a
thought.
good rib, dude. It's like falling off the bone, you know? And that's all I
Yeah,
hear there is like, all right.
yeah,
That's
dude.
it. That's your easy tell to know when it's done, like a crustacean. Like a crustacean turns red. This one, the meat separates from the skin. You're like,
Yeah, dude,
done.
for sure. Yeah, it
Yeah.
has like its own built-in done
Right.
like thing, done ticket. I don't
Timer.
know,
Yep.
but I
Yep.
know you. Yeah,
It's got that little popper up thing that the turkeys have.
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking in my head. But I was like, what the fuck is that thing called? I don't know what to even. Is there a word for it? Um,
Timer. I don't
yeah.
know.
So, uh, like I said, the Brits said oh no, you shouldn't pan sear it. You should be so delicate and stuff like that. But like, you can grill it and you can pan sear it. Sure, pan searing is very common. And then it also went on to say, don't grill it. It's super delicate. Ah, you can El Papillote that thing on the grill. And I'm like, see, we fucking told you, tin
Wrap it
foil.
up in your tin foil. Yeah, you can put that on the grill. At that point, you're just getting a heat source. Whatever you wrap it up.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, we know.
Right.
it was it was just such a weird thing that like the way they were throwing in, you shouldn't do any of this stuff. It's and then they just like at the end they're like, yeah, you could. And then they basically say you could put it in tinfoil and put it on the grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we got you. We
Right.
picked up on that. Anybody who's cooking fish has cooked fish before. We
Yeah.
understand.
I feel like if it's super delicate, like putting it in a pot of water isn't better either. Like I know they're talking about poaching it, but I feel like just
Yeah,
like submerging it in water
right.
like automatically starts breaking it down right away.
I thought that too. So I don't know, there must be other poaching methods. This was just talking about methods, like it didn't go into detail of how to do it, but it
Yeah.
made me think, have you ever heard of poaching in olive oil?
Poaching in olive oil?
Yeah, I know.
No.
Poaching
Uh-uh.
in olive oil. I know,
The
that sounds
only the
fucking
literally
crazy.
the only thing I've ever heard of poaching like I guess I've heard of poached fish, but I've never looked into doing it because it doesn't sound appetizing to me. Like boiled
Right, right.
fish just is like nothing I want a
Sounds
part
like the
of.
blandest fucking thing in the world.
Yeah. But
I
even
agree.
like the eggs, like on an eggs Benedict, that's a poached egg.
Yep.
And even when I make them at home, I don't go through the trouble of poaching an egg. I just fry an egg.
Yeah, just sunny side up an egg.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love
Because
me a
I mean,
poached egg, I really do, but, like,
yeah.
it's so much work and shit, it's hard to
Yeah.
do, it's difficult,
And
but,
that
like, with a
makes
fish, how could it be that hard?
right. And that makes sense where it's white and it's cooked and it's just like it's an egg.
Right.
And I guess
It made a
maybe if
case to
I guess
encapsulate a yolk.
like when I think about it like that, if you are just having this nice, soft, if you want to enjoy a piece of fish like how you enjoy an egg, where it's just soft and stuff,
Sure.
I suppose.
Yep.
But the idea of that, I don't know.
No. That's why I knew poaching in oil was a thing, and I'm like, "Isn't that just deep frying? Like, what does that mean? How does that work?"
Yeah.
So that's why I thought about it because I could think olive oil, garlic, some herbs, and then you heat that up. Yeah, I guess if you heat
Yeah.
that bad boy at around 200 degrees somehow, monitor with a thermometer or something,
Yeah.
it won't boil. That's poaching in oil. It won't deep fry. It will poach the shit.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. So I was kind of
Yeah.
like, it's kind of
That
dope.
sounds good, dude.
Yeah, and that was me. That was me going out on a limb just looking something up. They didn't say
Yeah.
this in that British article. I was like, poaching in water sounds fucking gross. Wait a second. Let me talk to Tim about this one. Let me
Yeah.
bring this one to the people.
That sounds good as long as you can stop the oil, like too much of the oil from getting into the actual because the fish is flaky. So if you can stop the
Oh,
oil from
yeah.
getting into in between all the flakes and stuff,
Right, right.
as
I
long
get
as
what
it
you're
like
saying.
cooks on the outside and it doesn't get saturated. Because could you imagine that? Like the beauty of a fried fish when it's like breaded and stuff is that the outside is crispy and the inside is like nice and cooked and stuff. Could you imagine if you got rid of that crispy texture and you had this soft, flaky white fish and it was just oily as hell.
Yeah, that'd be
That
gross.
doesn't sound good.
That sounds fucking horrible.
Just oily, soft fish.
Just oily. Yep, slimy at that point is what
yes, exactly. It would
it's
come
probably gonna
off as
turn
slimy
into.
for sure.
So one thing
But
before we wrap up and get into the random take, in the random take,
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about some dad shit. We're gonna talk about what is a dad TV? What is a new dad TV? What's the new dad TV? I know it sounds weird. It's a weird fucking topic, and it should be. So follow us over into the random take. But before we leave the fishing topic,
Yep.
you can bake and roast this thing whole too. Think about that. Big flat fucking fish, right?
Yeah.
Bye.
Boo. Jeez.
Wouldn't that be nuts, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose you have to catch a smaller one to be able to pull that off.
Yeah. That was the
Gotta get
first thing it
lucky.
said. It's like, make sure it will fit in your pan. They're big fish. I'm like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Who the hell? What the?
You don't need to tell me
advice.
that. You just logic would tell you, catch a smaller one. Hey, we caught a smaller one. We could throw that bitch in the oven.
Right. I'm willing to bet that you've cooked a pizza in your oven. So you have a good idea of how big this fish can be.
Right, right.
Like the family size Papa Murphy's didn't fit. I can't pull this off.
Right.
Suppose you got to put everything on there.
I guess so.
Like the McDonald's with the hot coffee. Caution. The hot coffee is hot. Ooh. Yeah.
Just so you know.
Which I know before anybody says anything, I know that some douche lady sued because they didn't put that out there. But
that's why
it's stupid. But this guy's not going to get in trouble for that.
No.
Like let that hate come to you. Let somebody throw shade. Don't say it, and then they go, the halibut didn't fit, or the turbo didn't fit in my oven. Yeah. You have a big one, idiot.
Exactly.
Jeebers.
Exactly.
Just let them argue and let the internet come at them.
Yeah, for sure, dude. On that one, I agree. Okay, Tim. Let's hit the break. We're gonna come back with some dad stuff. This is because I noticed, we always talk about dad stuff, but we never talk about dad stuff. So,
let's talk.
We're doing a full dad topic. You ready?
Yep.
All right, hit the break. Here we are, patreon.com/realaftv. That's right, patreon.com/realaftv. Real like fish and reel. We are on Patreon, and we are coming to tell you, and by we, I mean me and Tim, Real AFTV podcast here, coming to you to say we have a Patreon as low as $1 a month, but hey, you could go up to $100 if you really wanted to get crazy with it. It's there. Go over to our website, realaf.tv. You can find the Patreon link right there, or go to Patreon and look us up, Real AFTV, Real Like Fish and Reel. And we have things like, for $50 a month, we will customize, what kind of tackle is it, Tim? We have some in the warehouse right now that we haven't actually ran out.
A lure. Yes.
A lure, thank you.
Is a crankbait.
Crankbait.
Yes, we will customize a crankbait for you.
At the $50 tier. Also, Patreon, if you're new to the whole Patreon thing, if you're on a podcast, you're probably not that new to it. But Patreon is something that you can jump in and out of. Like if you do $50 this month, bam, you get the custom lure, but you don't want to do that for the whole year. You jump down to the $5 a month tier where you're going to get early access content. You can help vote on the random take, one of the random takes for the month. And, we'll keep up with you on Patreon as well. Like just a direct Patreon contact. There's communication you do only through Patreon. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you're new, there's just a little intro to it.
And to clarify that custom painted lure is a fully custom painted lure, like the pattern and everything. That won't be just something that we have a lure that we just write Real AFTV out.
Yes, thank you, Tim. Thank you for clearing that up, because yes, it's a slug, for lack of a better word, right now, and it will be turned into something.
Right.
I'm not good at the whole fishing lingo, so maybe Tim, you could evaluate on that a little, or like elaborate on
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it's yeah. Right now, it has no color, and I will give it color.
There we go.
It will look like a bait fish imitation of some sort. It might not be exactly colored. It might not be realistic. Some of that stuff out there that the different companies work with makes different stuff, but it will be a custom painted lure, and it won't look like dog shit. Not to be too full of myself, but I have some talent.
You have some artistic talent. Yes.
Yeah.
Very true. And before we wrap up the ad here for patreon.com/realaftv, we do have a goal too. We're goals right now. We only have one goal set, but there is, if we get up to 10 patrons this year or this month even, which would be great. So share with a friend. We will do a live stream AMA while fishing. We are capable of live streaming fishing. We've done it before. Yes. Check out the YouTube channel. And yeah, we'll just do an AMA. We'll schedule it. We'll do all the communications through Patreon, and we'll go live with a AMA of undetermined length at this point while fishing. So if you can get us up to 10 patrons, if you know friends and family and stuff like that got a few bucks to kick our way, let them know. RealAF.tv. Scroll down a little bit. There's the Patreon link. It'll shoot you right over. Sign up for a little bit.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Real AF TV podcast show about fishing random takes from the land 10,000 lakes. This is the random take, and we are going to talk about new dad TV. What is the new dad TV? What is the dad TV? The new version of it.
Right.
Back in my day, Dad just ran the TV.
That's right. Get your hand off the clicker.
Now we're dads, fairly new dads.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the TV? Like, what is the TV? What is your TV? Can you even put that in words?
My TV is...
This is assuming you have a big TV in the living room.
Yes.
And that was what we had as kids.
Yes.
Dad ran that TV.
Dude, it's so different. Because, I mean, still, I basically do run that TV.
You do?
You know? Okay. Like, when I got other stuff going on or whatever, it's like, yeah, watch your show on this TV. But if there's something I want to watch that TV, I'm like, dude, watch your show on your tablet.
Oh.
You get the small screen tonight because I'm watching Timberwolves.
Okay.
It's that kind of stuff where it's like a sporting event. I'm watching sports. You can watch whatever you want over there.
Yeah. And I'm not a big sports guy, so I don't have that moment. But that moment, you're right. I have to think something in my head. So you keep going because.
Yeah. I mean, that happens. And then there's other where it'll be like the opposite of that, where I'll let him have the big TV and then I'll put on, like if I'm going to go cook or whatever, I'll throw on his tablet and let something play in the background and then pop a headphone in so I can watch something on the small screen that I don't have to worry about him accidentally seeing.
Yeah.
And have a headphone in so I can listen to something that has some language.
Right.
Yeah. And
that's a good point. I got to start pulling that one. Do you have like earbuds?
Yeah. Yep.
You have like the wireless.
Yeah, I got I got weird wireless,
but it's not an Apple.
Yep. Yep. I got some Sonys. They're the shit. Love them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's right. You showed me those one day. I mean, you might not have shown me directly, but like you talked them up one time on like a video or something.
Yeah, because I'm a big believer in that you get what you pay for, but Sony's one of those where like pay attention because Sony every once in a while puts stuff on sale hefty. Because these are, I think I paid like $80 for these, and they originally sell for around $200. They're really nice, and I didn't pay that much for them. They go on crazy good sales. But yeah, I got
and they're still good quality. Like they are worth the more expensive price. But when you find good quality, you go like, all right, there's the model before the new model comes out. I'm fucking taking the old model deal now.
Yeah. Yep. These are noise canceling, and they have ambient sound too. You can turn on so you can hear everything around you if you want. So that's what
Oh
I
yeah.
normally like when I'm in the kitchen.
Right.
I'll throw on the ambient sound, so like if he comes up and starts talking to me, I know quick to like pause it.
Right.
And because they're like the touch, like
Yep.
he comes over, I can go bam and like pause it and just be like, "What's up, dude?" And if I see something like, if I know it's something he shouldn't be seeing, it's like bam, flap. What? You know?
Quick, close that lid.
Yep.
You don't need to see that guy getting shot.
You don't need to see that at all, because there's, you're watching Sopranos. You don't know. Somebody could get shot. There could be some titties. Watch out.
Anything's possible right now.
Anything's possible. TV's a different world than it used to be.
Oh
Because
yeah,
those late night HBO shows are now, you could stream them any time of the day.
They're available at 5:30 when you're cooking dinner in the
Right,
kitchen.
exactly.
You don't have to be dad TV waiting until 11:30. You're like, I'm trying to be in bed by 9. What the fuck?
Right. I'm not waiting until he goes to sleep. I'm watching this as I cook dinner, and I'll finish it. I'll get what I can done now,
Right.
and I'll finish it after he goes to bed.
Right.
But
And
for
you'll
right
still be in
now,
bed before the original airtime of 10:30 Pacific time
yeah,
when it originally aired, right?
Yep, exactly. Waiting from 10:30 to 11:30. Like, I can't do that.
I'm gonna fall asleep
But-
on the couch before the shit even starts.
Mhm.
Like, that's the kind of shit that I'm like happening right now. Is this like the only fucking time that I could run the TV
Yeah,
is when they have the TV, and by they I mean my wife and my kid.
sure.
They have the
Yeah.
TV. I'm awake at the same time as they are. I'm asleep at the same time as they are. They fucking
Yep.
they rule my TV now. I
Yeah.
have almost completely reverted to just tablets and computer screens.
Right.
Ever since she was born, I'm like, yep, that's
Yep.
it. And I include
Yeah.
the Switch in the tablet thing.
Sure.
In the tablet category.
Yep. Dude, you know what else helps is like both of us are fans of like animated films and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's cool, because if I'm just looking to watch something, like I'm just looking to unwind or whatever, I can put on a show that I find enjoyable for myself, and he'll be just as into it. So like we can actually watch a show together.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
oh,
that
dude.
has been happening lately.
I'm always
Finally,
trying
now
to-
that she's gotten to the age of like being able to comprehend TV a little more and actually like sit and watch it and kind of get like, oh, that's the bad guy. Oh no, bad guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
they sad.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, all right, here we go. So we put on Big Hero 6 the other day.
Oh, nice.
Boom.
That's a good one.
She's totally into it, dude. I love it.
Yeah.
You can just sit there and watch Big Hero 6. Like, yeah.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, there's a couple of them where it's like, at first I was like, I wish he was more into this, and he wasn't. And now he is. Like, he's starting to grasp stuff more, like Bluey.
Yeah.
Bluey's so fucking good.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need...
probably should.
Oh, dude.
Because I know you talk about Bluey all the time, so we probably should. That should probably be my Bluey TV. And by the way, just a quick little podcast YouTube thing here. It's like,
yeah,
leave your dad TV shit in the comments over on YouTube. Remember Real Life TV?
Yeah, let us know what
we
you got.
Yeah, we want more. There's more.
Yeah.
This is meant to be like, hey, if you're not a dad yet, here's some shit that's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it. And then if you're already a seasoned dad, you got 5, 6, 12, 13-year-olds. Leave it in the comments.
Yeah. Dude, Bluey has a couple of episodes where they're just so smart, so well done. But they have their fun episodes, but they also have one episode where, so there's Bluey and her sister Bingo.
Okay.
And Bingo has like a whole dream sequence episode.
Okay.
And that dream sequence episode is like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just like it's almost like artsy.
Oh.
It's just like everything's moving and like there's
Yeah,
almost
is it a
no
drug is it
words.
like a drug sequence, basically?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they hide
It's
those
like
things in the kid. They do that, dude.
but
Totally
it's
do.
like super it's not like creepy or weird.
Like the drug yeah, like a drug sequence
Yeah.
is. Yeah, okay, I got
Right.
you. I got you.
It's just like a shorter sequence and there's almost no words. You're just witnessing a dog like in space doing this, doing that, and the
Really?
whole time you're like just compelled and you're like, "Damn, this show is good."
Yeah, dude.
I'm
That's
so
so sick.
impressed. Their writers are so good. It's yeah, it's really well done. And they don't do this corny bullshit that some of the other ones do. Like there's actual
Yeah.
storylines and stuff.
Yeah.
For a little while there, you're probably still in the stage where they're watching just garbage and they want to watch, and it's just like they're making no like real words.
Uh-huh.
It's just
Yeah.
like these characters are just doing stuff and
Yeah,
you're
and
like,
almost
what
kind of
is
stupid
this?
shit, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
But it
my nephew
doesn't,
got into that shit for a little while, and we were
yeah,
like, "What the fuck is he watching?"
it doesn't get all better because some of it's really good. And I'm actually stepping in on some of this
Yeah,
because he started finding some YouTube videos on his own. He's able to do that. He learned how to do like the talk
yeah,
so he can hit the button and then he just says stuff.
yep.
And he was watching these like knockoff Pokemon episodes, which are like, I don't even know how any of this is legal.
It's probably not. It's just not vetted well. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah. And it's the worst acting.
Yeah.
And it's a lady with the same inflection in her voice over and over. Oh my god, Pikachu! I can't believe this. Why would you
Uh-huh.
do this?
Oh,
Over and
yeah.
over. There's
Yep.
no storyline. It's just, and it's like real people,
Yep.
and it's just garbage. And I
Yep.
do everything in my power to not just say, this is absolute dog shit. What are you watching?
This is the world that I'm afraid of, and I'll
Yeah.
get into it more, but because I wanna hear your story. Like, it's
And
hard not to say that. I know because I've seen these things happen
yeah.
before.
And I just tell him, I go, dude, I know you think you like this, and like maybe you kind of do, but this is so bad.
Yeah,
This
because
is just, I was like, this is my, like, you try to like break it down like nicely for them,
yeah,
but you're like, you're benefiting nothing from this.
right,
You can't tell your friends about this stupid shit.
right.
You're not learning. This isn't
Yeah,
educational. There's
no,
no
it's just mindless
upside
shit
to
falling into
whatever
your
this
head.
is.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, can we not? And I ask him nice, can we please, like, literally anything else?
Literally anything else.
Can we watch something else, please?
And
And
oh, go.
oh, I was just gonna say, and somehow he's like getting bits and pieces of like scarier shit from Friends, which is new to us too.
Yeah.
And he'll kind of like brag about it. He'll just be like, I know about Pennywise.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay. And he's like, he's like a creepy clown. And then I can't help myself. And I'm like, actually, he shows up as a creepy clown. He's a monster that can be whatever you fear the most. And he'll just be like, what? And I'll just be like,
Right.
but don't worry, none of it's real. And then I have to keep telling him that. I'm just like,
Right.
it's make believe, dude. And I go, here's the deal. The creators of it decided it would be creepy to say, what if it's a monster that could be whatever you're scared of the most? So that's what he is in this show, because that's all it is a show. So that's what he is. But he shows up as a clown because this one kid's scared of a clown.
Right.
And then I said the remake that I seen recently that you're definitely not going to get to see. He's an old creepy lady in one scene. And he's like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Because this one guy was scared of the creepy old lady that lived next to him. So he showed up as the creepy old lady that lived by him. I didn't tell him that he was like 7 foot tall and naked, but some parts you got to filter
but
out.
it's not a lie. Just hold it back. Just filtering, editing.
Exactly.
And so I fear the YouTube thing so much, which is part of why I let the TV just go. Like I've just I'm bringing this up now because I'm still having a hard time of just like letting go of the TV completely, because I got a PS5 and the fucking thing is a Scooby-Doo DVD player.
Yeah.
DVD.
Yep.
It's a 4K
DVDs.
Blu-ray player, and I got a fucking Scooby-Doo DVD in there. A show, an animated show from the 70s in SD 4x2. Fuck. That's what my PS5 is. And that a part of it is why I've let that go and let things like that just go like, okay, that's what it is now, is because I fear that YouTube day. Like, are you on YouTube Kids, or are you just like YouTube?
I think it's just regular YouTube, and
because there is YouTube Kids.
Yeah, he's never watching that like away from us,
Right. So and I'm not.
It might be on YouTube Kids. Yeah, it might be on YouTube Kids, but it's not like something we tell him like that's what you have to do. He just pulls up YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
Because he can find the videos of us. He can find all that stuff, but he doesn't search any of it up. So I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. He's not. Yeah. He doesn't have like the buttons and all that stuff. He figured out the voice stuff, but you know what he's watching and all that stuff. Yeah. Either way, I'm just saying YouTube Kids. It might be worse because it is more and more of that worthless, mindless crap. It's, dude, I've seen it and it's bad. There's no sequence. Now I'm not saying it's all garbage, because there's one dude that was a YouTuber and I don't even know his name anymore, but now he got like a Netflix series and all this stuff. I think he was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think he was legit in like Europe or something for a little while before Netflix picked him up. I don't know. I don't know all the details, but the short version of what I'm trying to get at here is that I've seen some of that crap that comes up and I'm just like, you know what? I think kids don't even give real TV a chance anymore. And I don't mean real TV. I mean like highly produced TV a chance anymore.
Yeah.
And so they don't know what's bad because they've never seen what's good.
Right.
And I'm not saying that we're the people out there on YouTube producing high quality, good shit that's just like ready for network TV.
Right.
But we try harder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we put
it's
effort
that
in.
Bad, dude. It's that bad.
If I wrote a script, I guarantee you he'd be better than that garbage that knockoff Pokemon stuff. Not Pokemon. Pokemon's good. This is garbage.
Well, that's the other thing too, is it's not original. Bluey is original. And then you go and see a knockoff YouTube of Pokemon and you're like, that's not even legal, first of all.
Yeah.
You can't do that. That is an IP infringement and Nintendo will find you. That is wrong. But the other thing is it's like never even given the opportunity for your 4-year-old to see a good episode of Pokemon before this garbage one. And now there's this skewed perspective and it's like, oh my God.
I've just been pulling up every time I see something like that. I pull up the real stuff.
Yeah.
Just be like, dude, off. Check this out.
Right.
Look at this.
Right.
Been showing it, like I just spoke into the controller. It was like Pokemon pops up and like the first thing is XY. I'm like, perfect. I don't care. Whatever
Whichever
generation it is. Boom. Select that. Started playing. He's seeing it and he's like, whoa, because there's like battles and stuff and just it looks so cool versus real people in like an outfit and they're just going, hey, Pikachu, what are you doing? And just like,
like what are you doing? Well, yeah, exactly.
I also
what are
can't
you doing?
fathom the people who had this idea. Even is it literally just like it's a money grab? Where they're just like, we have to put in the minimal effort, use a couple of terms that the kids have heard.
Yeah.
and then just put together like a half-ass BS storyline and
Yeah, I don't know.
like
I don't even know how they can make money off of them.
because I see this stuff with the same like I was just looking into games and I was trying to understand the difference between the Super Mario Party and the Mario Party Superstars. I'm like,
Yeah.
so what's the difference between that? I put it into YouTube. There's a video with 67,000 views where they literally just put Nintendo's own actual trailers, where it's like the trailer of like why you
No.
should buy this game, why this. They just put those two clips together, and that's it. I was like, I
What?
thought there was going to be somebody actually telling me the differences of these games and weighing the pros and cons
Yeah.
and saying why you liked one over the other. Instead, somebody just edited two videos together and then like put it up on their page.
Oh,
And I didn't click on their page, but I'm assuming that they just have a bunch of these different things
that's
and
just
that's
what they're
somebody,
doing. Yeah.
yeah, and that's somebody getting like 60
Oh my
to
god.
100,000 views on each video just
That's
because they're hitting
ridiculous,
on,
dude.
yeah, and it's just because they're hitting on a topic that people are actually curious about,
Right. That's
and
fucked
that's
up.
all it
That's what
is.
that
And
is.
somebody's making YouTube money off of just being able to, get
Slap two official
views.
trailers together.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
and the,
fucked up.
I know, dude. That's what I think. Like, I see a lot of this stuff, and there's a lot of the. I mean, it's the garbage that he watches is on the same level of the garbage that's there for adults. There's all these um like mystery shows or clips if you're wondering about something or you're curious about something where you're like, what was this? Like, I heard about this creepy thing that happened. I don't know if anybody's on the same part, like,
Mm.
but I've had where I've asked, just like, I heard about like this person disappearing,
Uh-huh.
and I Google, and it's like the same cadence. In this year, this guy disappeared,
Yeah.
and then he was found a little bit later. And they
Uh-huh.
like try to like, and it's just video after video like that, and it
Same
has
thing
hundreds of
over and over.
thousands of views.
Yep.
And it's just some guy that learned about something, did his own little voiceover,
Yeah.
and he's got this channel where he's making money off of doing this just horseshit content. And all
Also,
he's
those
doing
aren't
is
made for adults.
yeah. And it's just he's regurgitating somebody else's story. All he's doing is reading somebody else's story.
Poorly.
He's just finding a newspaper clipping, reading somebody else's story, and
Right. Yes.
and they're
Yes.
making money.
And he's
off
not
of
good
it.
at it. And then the voiceover is not good either. And the editing is
Oh,
subpar at best.
terrible. Say same cadence over and over, but they don't care. And it's almost like they do that horseshit cadence because then people get on the comments and they go, "This guy sucks. I can't
Oh,
stand listening to him
and the
talk."
comments bump it up.
The comments blow up because everybody's going, "Same, dude. I can't stand this guy. I
Yep.
listened to this. I watched
Yep.
the video with the sound off, just
Yep.
subtitles on,
Yep. And the more
and it's the same
comments, the
kind of
better.
crap. I'm sure it's the same crap on the shows that he's watching right now, where it's parents chiming in, like, "I saw my son watching this. This is garbage. You shouldn't have your kids watch this," and everybody's chiming in,
Right. Right.
and
Yep.
it's just garbage broadcast or like producing to get the algorithm involved because everybody hates it enough, but for some reason your kid likes it.
Oh, yep. Yeah, it seems like there is a part of YouTube that is doing that. I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know where it came from, but I agree with you. I've seen it with my nieces and nephews, and like that is again part of why I'm just like, okay, I can have my tablet stuff and
Yeah,
I'll be fine. But damn, I miss my big TV and I miss my console and like I miss my
right.
big TV gaming, which I get. I get some in on Saturday. I try
Sure.
and it's great. Yeah,
Yeah,
when I get to, it's fucking great. But like
right.
once a week, I kind of want a game more than that. So you know what I do? I stream my PS5 to a tablet.
There you go. Nice. I got this.
Works. It
I'm
works,
playing
but it's
Pokemon
like
right now, so I got the Switch. I can play the Switch whenever.
Yeah.
Have the
No,
big
I get
TV,
to play the
dude.
Switch whenever too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do. I mean, for the most part, my wife plays Pokemon, so now it's half hers.
Oh, right.
She's actually playing it more than me currently.
Right, right. So she's got your Switch.
Yeah.
Your daughter has the big TV.
Yep.
And you're like, I guess I stream to the tablet.
Yep.
That works though. You
It
got means of
does.
making it happen.
It does. Yeah. I still do get to play it. Like I'm playing Sonic Frontiers, dude, the newest Sonic game.
Ooh, yeah, the open world one. I haven't.
I
How good is
love
it?
it, dude. I'm
Yeah,
so into it. I am so into it.
that's awesome.
The pop in of the so there's the Sonic. We'll just go on a little Sonic rant here for a second.
Yeah.
So there's like Sonic, it's an open world and you're
Yep.
running around, or open zone is what they call it. So there's like these bigger open areas.
Oh, that
You
makes
can just
sense.
fucking rip around them, dude. And there's
Sonic's all about the
coins.
zones.
Oh yeah. And yeah, exactly. Sonic's always been about zones. So there's, checkpoints and things to do, and there's enemies in the open world. And I think it's great.
Yeah.
Music's playing. It's super good music. It just kind of fits. It's like chill open world running around as Sonic. It's fucking cool. But then there's Sonic elements, bumpers,
Okay.
grind rails,
Okay.
just like fast paced Sonic things that happen in it. And what they're really there for is locomotion, transportation. They're there
Oh, sure.
to get you from one side to the other super quickly because you can run over this turbo pad and it'll shoot you real fucking fast. And then you'll hit this bumper and it'll shoot you up in the air. And then you dash into a handle and the handle zips you up into the sky. And the next thing you know, you're on a grind rail and then you just turn on the Sonic speed and you hit this grind rail and you've covered, like 3 miles
Nice.
in like 3 seconds. You just fly.
Yeah.
Those pop in super bad. Like sometimes you're on top of it because you're moving so quickly and it just doesn't keep up. And you're like, damn near like you're on it and you run by it before it pops in and you just keep running. And then you're like, oh shit, I'm going to go back and do that because there's a sequence to it.
Okay.
So that is a bummer because those parts don't load in, but the world's great, beautiful. They're
Sure.
loaded in. They're fast. Enemies are there.
Nice.
I don't know. I have no
Yep.
problem with it. I think it's great. So I'm
And you're
super into that.
saying, like, you have that issue because you're streaming to your tablet?
No, that's just a flat out flaw in the game. Like that is a
okay.
performance issue in the game, and I knew that before I
Okay.
bought it. I bought it anyway because
Right.
I just feel like this is gonna be for me, and fuck yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Nice.
Fucking totally is for me. I love it.
Nice. Yeah, dude,
But
it looks good. It looks really cool.
yeah, it is.
I haven't got that one yet because I'm sure Beckett's going to want to play it, and I don't know if he can handle it yet. You think he can handle it? Is there a learning curve to be able to do those fast moves, or is
It's
it pretty
fast,
automatic?
dude. It's super fast. Like my wife watched it for a little while, and I asked her, I said, "What do you think about that?" And she goes, I don't know. It was really fast. It's hard to comprehend. And it actually took me a little while to adjust my eyes. And now my hands
Yeah.
are fine. Like I could coordinate it just fine. But like comprehending that open of a world as fast as you're moving, and I'm not trying to hype this up like it's the fastest fucking game of all time. But when
Yeah.
I'm used to like open world Breath of the Wild, where it's super casual and like Link doesn't move that fast. And when you're on the glider, you're just kind of cruising around and you have all this time to like comprehend everything that's going on in this.
Yeah.
And then Sonic, you just light it up and you hit a turbo pad and you bounce and you bounce and you jump up. And they're like, if you don't hit square now, you're not going to get over to that next thing. And you have
sure.
like a second to react. And so
Yeah.
you can just run around this open world as Sonic and it's fun.
Yeah.
But when you get it, you get it.
Right.
And it's fast.
Damn, dude. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Honestly, like I was just thinking, like that totally makes sense that it's having troubles loading stuff when you're going that fast.
Because
'Cause,
it's
like,
not part of the world, technically speaking. Like that's why I think it has troubles, because there's the open world that's been built, right?
Yeah.
And then the level designers, I'm guessing this is how it worked. The level designers go through and they're like, okay, now put an accelerator ring here after they, or like put a turbo pad here and then an up thing here and then turbo rings in the sky. And they're building these little Sonic, like these traditional Sonic elements into this open world. And it's these traditional Sonic elements that are popping in to the traditional world, or to the like open world.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I think it's
Okay.
it's the two parts aren't mesh. They don't mesh together well when you're moving that
I was
quickly.
right. Yeah, and I was thinking, like, don't you think too? It's like that because you're moving so quickly, it's just having a hard time loading. I was just thinking about all the other open worlds that I've played, and the fastest you can go is like some of them you can drive a vehicle, but you can kind of see everything loading in the background as you're driving.
Right.
And if you're flying at 4 times that speed, and now the background is the foreground like that.
Right. And that's why I don't want to make it sound like it's the fastest game of all time, because I think it is drawing out so far so that the world feels open and free and real.
Okay.
And since it is drawing all of that open world, there's a sacrifice to getting the close-up world to render properly.
Sure.
Yeah. And it is sense. Those elements.
Yeah.
Because you can't see those elements off in the distance either.
Yeah.
Like, you can only see them when you're close. So yeah.
Okay.
Either way.
Well,
so
we might have to wait on that one then. I've been trying to get him into Mario Party. We were playing Mario Party on the whipped out the Wii, playing it on the old wired controller. Dude, crazy shit where you don't think about it.
Yeah.
Have to sit him down and just be like, now you can't walk away with this controller. This one has a wire.
Oh,
like you've never seen one of these before. This is attached to that. You can't pull it.
Yeah,
you have to
dude.
stay here. We can't move.
Right.
It's like you've literally never witnessed something that's attached before.
Right. That's crazy.
It's like, when I was showing it to him, like, I don't know, that's so weird to think that you've never even encountered one of these before.
Right.
But we were playing Mario Party, like 3-player, me, my wife, and him.
Yep.
And he was into the idea of it at first, but I don't think the mini games are that fun to him yet. Like, it's the competition, like he's got to be able to do, and just I don't think he really grasps every game, like because you got to get it right away. Like, you got to hit this button here, and we got to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And he was pretty jazzed when it was like a me and him on a team.
Sure.
And we got to like whoop up on Mom. He's like, yeah, he'd be like, yeah, we kicked your ass. But he wouldn't, I don't think he really grasped what he was doing. But I thought that if we got the one for the Switch, it'd be better because the controllers are smaller and he'd be able to do the stuff a little bit better.
Yeah. Yep.
And I think maybe I'm still on the fence on which one to get. Because the Super Mario Party has like, where you can move the controller. Like, it's like, move your hand like this to do the thing. And I think he'd be able to do that. Like, twist your hand like you're cranking a crank or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
The Mario Party Superstars has all old school games where you don't do any of the motion.
Oh, I didn't think about that. So that one is like just strictly the old school games. It's not.
That's what I heard in the review that I was looking at. So as long as he's accurate, that's what it is.
Right.
I can't guarantee he's right. I haven't been able to witness it in person. But we have been playing the Ninja Turtles with everybody's favorites turtles, how he says them. We have Michelangelo, Donatello, Raphael, and Ninja Nardo.
Yes.
Good old Ninja Nardo.
I love it.
Yep. And he loves playing it, but he doesn't do it right. He likes to sit in the corner and like charge up, and he's like, you can charge your attack. A hard time.
It's still a real beat 'em up, and so that takes I mean, it does take a while to catch on to a beat 'em up. Yeah. Not just like something you can just get.
Yeah. I think I need to get like a platformer because he likes the whole.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to get the pizza. And it's just like, let me get the pizza because that's health.
Right.
and I'm actually fighting.
Right. I'm the one that actually needs it. But I get it.
to,
Like, yeah, the jumping and the mild, the fighting and stuff like that. But yeah, Sonic. So yeah, they go back to the Sonic thing. It's way too fast. That's not a place where
Sure. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like,
even
I
Odyssey
didn't look
might be
into the game,
hard
but
because like so the new Mario game on Switch, it's super good. It's not
oh, is
difficult,
it?
but like, I mean,
I think I need to start with just like I was actually thinking what I need to do going back to our previous episode is that I need to go and just get to the online stuff
yeah,
and just let him play the old school side scrolling
right.
2D stuff.
And
Let him
comprehend
start
that
with that
first. Yeah.
because that's just the left, right. We
Left,
don't need a
right,
whole
up and
3D
down.
world.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just
Just be
figure it
able to
out.
jump,
Uh-huh.
get kind of the basics down, like hold this button and it'll run faster.
Right. Yep.
Let's start with that stuff.
Right.
Not here's a 3D world. Left shoulder button is this, right shoulder button is this. You have all these buttons over here. The
Yep.
D-pad does other stuff also. There's actually 2 shoulder buttons. Don't worry about that. There's the plus and the minus on the Switch. So minus if you want to pull up this menu, plus if you want to pull up that menu, if you want to check your stats and stuff, and it's all this like it's so in depth. It's like the Pokemon game I'm playing right now, and it's like Let's Go Pikachu is kind of more his speed where we could handle that, where you give him a controller and he could just like hit the button to try to catch it, or he can move his hand to try to throw the ball. This new one is like, not only do you have to read, but there's so freaking much to that game.
Yeah.
And it's
a
like,
real RPG.
He's got like the love that children have for Pokemon and the complete inability to play these games. It's so funny to me that it's like you love Pokemon, but you got no chance at playing this.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, the games have kind of grown up with us though, too. That's
for sure.
Of it. But like, also get the online thing, and no, Pokemon's not on there. I don't think they put Pokemon on there. But anyways, even if they do, try to play the Game Boy version. Even it's like, no, you have to be like 10 years old to be able to comprehend that.
It's still reading. You have to be able to read fluently to be able to handle any of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, definitely we're out of it. That's actually like a lot of games are pretty hard.
Yeah,
because
you really
of that.
Think about it.
Like the only ones that really work is like when we got the Paw Patrol game. Paw Patrol was smart enough to like, they say everything.
Yeah,
and it's like,
completely.
Yes, that's what we need. He can't read. You guys know this.
Right.
Like, look at your demographic.
Yeah,
how many of your Paw Patrol fans can read?
Right.
So yeah, that's what they need to do, is just have everything worded out.
For sure. When you're playing together, is that big TV?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. See. Yep. That's the part I'm waiting for.
Oh yeah, I think it'd be way too chaotic.
Go ahead.
The little screen. If we set up the little screen to go 2-player, I think there's way too much going on. I don't think we'd be able to see what the hell's happening.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I just didn't know how the like TV balance was there, if he preferred to play on the little screen, right? Because they've been like kids get trained almost on the little screen, it seems like, right? Like, oh no, I want to play on the little one. You're like, I told you the big one.
Right.
What the hell?
Yep.
What the fuck?
So he likes playing on the big screen, and he asks for it all the time, even though he doesn't actually play.
Nice.
He does play a lot, but every once in a while. You. Yeah. And then we just have to talk back and forth about it, me and my wife. I'm like, he just sits in the corner. And she's like, yeah, I don't know. When we play, he actually fights. But like when he plays with you, it's like, I don't know. He must know that like mom's not carrying the weight. Like I can just dick off in the corner. Dad's gonna fuck up the Foot Clan.
So before we wrap up here, I want to say one thing, dude. I started to think about PBS, and like they're probably watching PBS at daycare and stuff like this. And like we used to watch PBS at daycares and in school and young and stuff like that. So I was like, wait a minute. Our antenna doesn't get dick for reception. How can I do this? Looked up PBS on our smart TV. And PBS Kids was an app, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. So we got in on that. It's good. They have a live TV version, so it's just going.
Nice.
Then you can get through it. Just pick Curious George straight up. I was like, oh man.
Right.
So that's our new thing that we got. Also, why I don't get the TV.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I created my own demise really when it comes to not having the TV anymore.
Yeah.
But like that one I was pretty pumped on.
Nice. We watch Curious George sometimes, but I don't even know how.
I don't know another way, but I'm sure it's out there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you have Hulu Live, right?
No, not anymore. We have YouTube.
Oh,
okay. We have YouTube TV. So maybe it's on there.
But maybe it's on that. Yeah, that'd be my guess. Yeah.
We have YouTube TV, Disney Plus, Netflix, Paramount Plus.
Goddamn.
HBO Max, but that's through our cell phone.
Yeah, I know.
We never tried to get HBO Max. We just have it.
Right.
And then the YouTube TV. And yeah, we have Hulu, but not live. And we only have Hulu because it's like the package deal with Disney.
Oh, yeah. I gotcha. Yep. That's a good deal.
Yeah.
Well, we got to wrap it up. We're running out of time.
Running.
We got to just end on that note.
Yep.
So we got to do the thing. Like, subscribe, all of that fun stuff.
Yep.
We are on Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. Look us up. Real AF TV. Remember, real like fish and reel. 2 E's in the middle there. Just do a search for that. We'll come up. Our usernames aren't the same across all the platforms because of things that are weird with the platforms. But again, just look us up. REELAF TV. It'll bring us up. We're doing shorts. Well, we got a short up now. So go check that out over on YouTube. Remember, youtube.com/@RealAFTV. That's how you find us directly. I'm still working on the contact thing. So you want to contact us? Feel free by leaving comments in the YouTube video. We see them. We respond. We're talking back and forth. Patreon.
Yep.
In the middle, we do a patreon.com/RealAFTV ad, but why not throw it in at the end again here? Reviews, right, Tim? Reviews.
That's right. Spotify, Apple iTunes.
Yep. And if you can do it anywhere else, do it. We love it. Helps the algorithm, just like we talked about. But the one thing we're not going to do to help the algorithm out is make these shitty keyword, whatever the fuck those are.
Right.
You will not find that on Real AF TV. Pardon my cough right now.
We want people to like us. We don't want people in the comments.
Not hate comment.
Like, what the fuck is this shit?
We don't want the hate comments. The what the fuck is going on here comments.
No, if you don't like us, you can comment.